Have you ever dreamed of living a life filled with calm confidence, where you naturally radiate charm without even trying? Imagine being admired not because you seek approval, but because of your inner peace and genuine value. This isn't just a dream, it's absolutely possible, and it all starts when you stop chasing approval and begin focusing on building your own worth. Here's the truth. Rare things are always valued. If you lower yourself just to be liked, you won't gain respect. Instead, you'll lose it. The philosophy of Stoicism reminds us that true strength comes from within. When you stop depending on others' opinions, you gain something priceless: complete control over your life. So, stop waiting. The time to take action is now. Focus on your personal growth and live a life that inspires others to follow your lead. If this message resonates with you, comment below, "I value myself," and take the first step toward mastering your life. Before we continue, I'd love your help in spreading the wisdom of Stoicism. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out on a new video. And if you enjoyed today's content, drop a 1 in the comments. Got suggestions? Leave a 2 so I can make future videos even better. Thank you so much for being here. Now, let's dive in and discover the transformative power of Stoicism. Your journey starts today. Let's go. 1. The power of Stoicism, the art of detachment. I know that detachment isn't easy. You've invested so much time, energy, and emotion into this relationship or situation. The thought of stepping away might feel scary, as if you're abandoning something important. But remember, detachment doesn't mean walking away or ignoring someone. It's about creating boundaries to protect your emotions and stop sacrificing yourself for others. You've spent too much energy reacting to their actions and letting your emotions be dictated by them. It's time to stop. From now on, when they do something that upsets you, resist the urge to react like you used to. This doesn't mean you're cold or indifferent. It means you're protecting your inner peace. You're no longer allowing others to control your emotions. You're taking back your power. At first, they'll notice this change. They might not understand it and may even push back, but that's normal. You're reclaiming your space, your calm, and your inner strength. Redirect your energy. Instead of pouring all your attention into them, redirect it toward yourself. You've spent too much time trying to make them happy and forgotten to invest in your own growth. Now is the time to change that. Discover a new hobby, focus on your career, or learn something new to improve yourself. The more you focus on yourself, the less you'll crave their validation. And guess what? They'll start to notice. They'll realize you're no longer revolving around them, and that will make them question their place in your life. Create space for them to value you. You don't need to ignore or cut them off completely, but stop being the one who always texts first, checks in, or makes plans. Let them feel what it's like to miss you. When you're always available, they might take you for granted. Only by creating some distance can they truly recognize your value in their life. Stoicism isn't about being heartless. It's about protecting your peace. By learning to detach, you'll rediscover your inner strength, focus on yourself, and build healthier relationships. This calm and control will allow you to live a more meaningful and grounded life. The power of Stoicism. When you step back, they notice. Imagine always being the one who texts first, plans everything, and keeps the connection alive. But over time, you feel unappreciated. So, what do? You step back. You stop chasing. You stop overextending yourself. Instead, you focus on yourself, your growth and happiness. Suddenly they notice. They wonder why you're not as available as before, why your enthusiasm has shifted. They start missing the attention you once gave so freely. This is the power of Stoicism, the power of stepping back. Detachment isn't abandonment. The truth is, they won't miss you when you're always there, ready and waiting. But the moment you step back and reclaim your energy, they'll feel the difference. When you stop needing them, they'll start needing you. Detachment isn't about pushing them away. It's about pulling yourself closer. It's about creating space for them to appreciate what they've taken for granted. Trust me, when they feel your absence, they'll start to notice. Overcoming initial anxiety. I won't lie, this won't be easy at first. You might feel anxious or afraid, like you're losing something you worked so hard to hold on to. But here's the truth. If they disappear just because you stopped chasing, then they were never really yours to begin with. On the other hand, if they start noticing your absence and appreciating your presence, the dynamic shifts in your favor. Reclaim control. The most important thing to remember is that this isn't about them. It's not a tactic to manipulate them into wanting you back. It's about you, about reclaiming your power. You're learning to recognize that your value doesn't depend on anyone's approval. This is your story, and you get to decide how it unfolds. You have the right to determine how you're treated and valued. Stoicism doesn't teach you to be cold or distant. It teaches you to protect your peace. By stepping back, you'll see who truly values you and who was only there for convenience. Most importantly, you'll realize your true strength lies in knowing you don't need external validation. You already know your worth. Detachment, a journey to dignity and peace. Detachment isn't a mind game. It's a path to reclaiming your dignity and inner peace. Think of it this way. When you constantly pour your energy into someone, they may feel overwhelmed and pull away. But when you step back and create space, something magical happens. They're drawn to you. Not because you're trying to make them notice, but because you've reclaimed your power. They'll sense this shift in your energy. Like a magnet, the less you push, the more they're pulled toward you. This isn't manipulation, it's transformation. Stop begging for attention. Trust the process. Stop living for others' approval. Stop begging for attention or validation. You don't need to prove your worth to anyone. You are already enough. You already have value. And it's time for them to see it. But remember, you're not doing this so they'll miss you. You're doing this because you deserve better. You deserve to be appreciated without having to fight for it. You deserve to be pursued, not the one always chasing. It starts with you. This is just the beginning of your transformation, your journey to reclaiming your life and power. Everything starts with you. It begins with recognizing your worth, owning your strength, and refusing to rely on anyone else's validation. This journey isn't over yet. There's so much more to learn and grow, but this is your starting point. Stop waiting for others to recognize your value. Start showing yourself that you don't need their approval to thrive. Declare your worth. If you're ready to take this journey with me, declare it now. Comment, "I know my worth." This isn't just a statement to the world, it's a promise to yourself. From this moment forward, you'll stop chasing, stop begging, and stop waiting. You're stepping into your own power. And remember, anyone who wants to be part of your life will have to earn it. Your journey starts now, and from here, the only way is up. Trust me, they'll notice. 2. Secret weapon, becoming irreplaceable. Here's the truth. What's always available is rarely valued. Think about it. If diamonds were as common as pebbles, would they still be considered precious? Of course not. Real value is tied to scarcity. The harder something is to obtain, the more people are willing to fight for it. But here's the problem. You may have unknowingly made yourself too accessible, too familiar. You're always available, always ready, and constantly pouring your energy into maintaining this connection. And guess what happened? They started taking your presence for granted. Why don't they prioritize you? Because you've become predictable in their lives. When someone knows you'll always be there, they stop feeling the need to work to keep you. This isn't because you lack value, it's because you've given your value away too easily, without asking for any effort in return. But you deserve more. You deserve to be cherished, desired, and pursued. And for that to happen, you need to change the rules of the game. It starts with becoming scarce. Scarcity, the secret to increasing your value. Scarcity is a magnet for attention. It flips the script and forces others to see you as the rare gem you are. When you stop always being available, when you step back and create space, they'll feel it. It'll hit them like a sudden gust of cold air, leaving them unsettled. And that's when the chase begins. You're no longer an option. You're the prize. And a prize isn't easy to win. Reset the dynamics. This doesn't mean ignoring them or disappearing completely. This isn't a game, and it's not manipulation. It's about re-establishing balance in the relationship and reminding them that your time and energy are limited and valuable. You're not there for their convenience. You're not a side character in their story, showing up whenever they need attention. You're the main character in your own life. Act today, not tomorrow. If you want others to value you, start by valuing yourself. Get busier. Invest in yourself, your hobbies, your goals, and your growth. When your attention isn't so easy to come by, they'll start noticing its absence. And this shift doesn't just change how they see you. More importantly, it changes how you see yourself. You'll realize your value doesn't depend on their approval. It comes from within. You're not replaceable. You're irreplaceable. You're a rare gem, and people need to prove they deserve to have you in their lives. Scarcity isn't about being distant. It's about highlighting your true worth. Stop chasing. Start letting others chase you, because you're worth it. You're the lead in your own story. Remember, you're the main character in your life story, and only those who truly recognize your worth deserve to be part of it. When you stop being so readily available, two things happen. They notice the change. They wonder why you're not as present, why you're not the one always reaching out. They'll miss your attention, the kind they never had to ask for. They start trying harder. The uncertainty makes them take action. When you're no longer easy to access, they start craving your presence. Scarcity creates desire. Some people fear that stepping back will push others away, but the opposite is true. When you become scarce, you spark curiosity. You create a sense of mystery that pulls people in. Think about it. What's more captivating? A book where you already know the ending, or a story full of twists and turns? Predictability kills excitement, and when you're always available, you become predictable. That kills attraction. Scarcity makes you valuable. When you're not always there, they'll notice. They'll start questioning their actions, wondering what they did to lose your focus. When your presence is no longer taken for granted, every interaction becomes special. Scarcity transforms you from an option into a priority. The initial discomfort, a necessary step. At first, stepping back might feel uncomfortable. You're used to always being available, always giving without hesitation. Pulling away might feel selfish or unkind. But remember, scarcity isn't coldness. It's about setting boundaries to protect your energy and ensure others value it. You don't need their approval. Here's the truth. You don't need anyone's approval to be worthy. You don't have to prove your value by always being there or sacrificing yourself. You already have value, and it's time others see that. You are irreplaceable. Act like it. When you embrace scarcity, You remind others that your presence is a privilege, not a guarantee. This isn't about playing games, it's about owning your worth. You deserve to be cherished, not just convenient. You deserve to be treated like someone special, not just someone who's there when it's convenient. That only happens when people understand that your time and energy are precious and not freely given. From now on, you're the prize. Don't be afraid to step back. Don't fear creating space. It doesn't make you lose, it makes you stronger. The right people will work to keep you, the wrong ones will leave, and that's a blessing. Starting today, stop chasing and start attracting. You're not an option, you're the prize, and the right people will see that, because you'll make sure they do. 3. The power of silence, reflecting their actions. Silence is not weakness. Silence is power. In a world where everyone wants to be heard, explaining, arguing, and defending themselves, the person who masters silence holds the real power. Silence is your secret weapon. You may feel the urge to speak up when someone disrespects you, to prove your point, defend yourself, or respond to unfairness. But the truth is, every time you react emotionally, you're giving them your power. When you choose silence instead, you force others to face their own actions and thoughts. This makes them reflect on their behavior, question their motives, wonder what you're thinking. Confusion, a tool that draws them in. Silence creates mystery, something people can't resist. They don't know what's going on in your mind, and that uncertainty unsettles them. They'll chase clarity, they'll crave answers, and ultimately, they'll chase you. Mastering control through silence. Silence isn't about being cold or distant. It's about learning when to engage and when to step back. When someone pushes your buttons, they expect you to react, and every time you do, you lose leverage. But when you respond with calm, deliberate silence, the balance of power shifts. They'll start asking themselves, "Why didn't you react? What changed? What are you thinking?" This uncertainty creates a magnetic pull, and suddenly you're in control. Calmness, your sharpest weapon. Picture this. You're in the middle of an argument. Instead of yelling or defending yourself, you choose silence. No anger, no frustration. Just calm, unshakable stillness. This sends a powerful message. You're not rattled. You're not easily provoked. Your inner peace is untouchable, and it drives them crazy. They'll try to pull you into their chaos, but you won't budge. When you're silent, they listen. People will notice you're not easily controlled by emotions. They'll be forced to deal with the consequences of their actions without your interference. Silence, a test for relationships. If someone truly respects you, they'll approach you sincerely. If they don't, they'll pull away, and that's a blessing. You'll save your time and energy for those who genuinely value you. The power of silence, reclaiming control. True power doesn't come from words, it comes from control. When you stop constantly explaining yourself, you force others to confront a new reality. You don't need their approval. They'll realize they can no longer control you with their opinions, manipulate you with their expectations. Silence speaks louder than words. Your silence sends a clear message. I know who I am. I don't need you to validate me. And that's a statement they can't ignore. Mystery, the ultimate attraction. The beauty of silence is that it creates mystery. It makes you unpredictable and captivating. People are naturally drawn to what they don't fully understand. When you stop explaining everything, stop reacting to disrespect, and stop seeking approval, you stand out. You become a mystery they can't figure out, and that mystery makes them work harder for your attention. Silence is not punishment, it's self-respect. This isn't about playing games or punishing others. It's about protecting your energy and reclaiming control. Silence shows you value your peace over drama. You won't waste energy on the undeserving. It teaches others that your attention is a privilege, not a given. Unspoken confidence. I know my worth. You don't have to shout about your worth. Your silence speaks for itself. When words lose their meaning, silence takes over. And trust me, they'll feel it. They always do. The transformation starts now. If this resonates with you, it's time to embrace change. I encourage you to 1. Like this content if you feel connected to it. 2. Comment, I know my worth. 3. Subscribe to stay connected as we continue this journey of growth. Your breakthrough begins today. Stop waiting, stand tall, claim your power, and show the world you don't need anyone's approval to thrive. This is your moment. Your transformation starts now. 4. Protect your inner peace, building a mental fortress. Your heart is your sanctuary, a sacred fortress. Not everyone deserves access to that space. If you've ever allowed others to invade your emotions, thoughts, and peace, it's no wonder you've felt drained. Your inner world is sacred. We often believe that openness and vulnerability create deeper connections. But the truth is, the more freely you give, the more people take you for granted. Not everyone knows how to handle your vulnerability with care, and not everyone deserves to know what's happening in your heart. Learn to guard your inner world. When you learn to protect your emotional space, everything changes. You stop being a dumping ground for others' negativity. You stop letting their opinions determine your worth. You build boundaries, not as walls to isolate yourself, but as clear limits to preserve your peace. Boundaries, a statement that your peace is sacred. The boundaries you set send a powerful message. My peace is not negotiable. This isn't selfishness, it's survival. In a chaotic world, protecting your mind, emotions, and sanity is the only way to thrive. The magnetic power of calm and control. People are naturally drawn to those who guard their inner world. There's something captivating about a person who stays unshaken, remains calm even when chaos surrounds them. This kind of presence radiates confidence and self-mastery, qualities that set you apart. Your energy is rare and precious. When you control who and what enters your emotional space, people notice. They'll sense that your energy isn't something to be freely given, and because of that scarcity, they'll value it more. Key lesson: not everyone deserves access. Remember, not everyone is worthy of entering your heart and mind. Openness requires discernment. Protecting your peace isn't closing yourself off. It's an act of self-respect. Inner peace is your greatest asset. Mental peace is worth guarding at all costs. It doesn't just keep you grounded, it makes you stronger and more magnetic to others. Set boundaries, protect your energy, and never forget, your peace is sacred. Preserve your inner world, protect your energy and peace. Here's the reality. If you let people freely access your thoughts and emotions, they'll start to feel entitled to them. They'll expect you to be their emotional support, absorb their problems, validate their feelings. And over time, this will leave you feeling drained, disconnected from yourself, resentful. This is why protecting your inner world is non-negotiable. Protecting yourself isn't selfish, it's self-respect. Setting boundaries doesn't mean pushing people away. It means keeping yourself whole. At first, this change might feel uncomfortable. You're used to saying yes, even when your heart screams no. But each time you set a boundary, you reclaim a piece of yourself. You remind yourself that your happiness is a priority, not an afterthought. You rebuild self-respect and start attracting people who value you. Transformation. The right people will stay. When you protect your inner world, something amazing happens. 1. The right people will respect you. They'll honor your boundaries. They'll value you for who you are, not for what you can give. 2. The wrong people will leave. Those who only wanted to drain your energy will naturally fall away, and their exit will make room for healthier connections. This shift allows you to heal, grow, and thrive. Your peace is priceless. Declare it. I know my worth. You don't have to announce your boundaries. Live by them. The right people will respect them. And those who don't? They'll realize your value too late. You deserve peace. Stop sacrificing your peace to please others. You deserve relationships that honor your boundaries and energy. Remember, you're not a crutch for other people's emotions. You're not an endless supply of energy for others to drain. You're a fortress, and your inner world is sacred. Guard it fiercely. The right people will understand, and those who don't aren't meant to stay. 5. Break the pattern. Make them pay attention. People feel comfortable when they think they know exactly how you'll react. They expect you to be predictable. They assume you'll always show up when they need you. They believe you'll keep doing what you've always done. But this comfort breeds complacency. They stop appreciating you because they think you'll always be there. If you want to change the dynamic, if you want them to crave your presence, you need to do something bold. You need to break the pattern. Bold changes. Create attraction. Every relationship, whether romantic, friendship, or work-related, follows patterns. Maybe you're always the first to text. Maybe you're always the problem solver. Maybe you're always the planner who keeps things running smoothly. They've grown used to this. They don't even notice it anymore. They've built a mental map of how you behave, and they feel safe because they think they understand you. But when you break that pattern, even slightly, you send shockwaves through their mind. Suddenly, you're unpredictable, and that sparks curiosity. How to break the pattern strategically. 1. Stop always texting first. Let them wonder why you're not reaching out. 2. Stop replying immediately. Slow down and let them question what's on your mind. 3. Challenge their ideas. If you've always agreed, start sharing your own opinions. 4. Let them make plans for once. Show them how much effort you've been contributing all along. 5. Step back and give them space. Make them feel your absence when you're not always there. This isn't about cutting people off. It's about resetting expectations and making them notice you differently. Make them notice and question. When you break the pattern, people will wonder what changed. Feel curious about you. Work harder to regain your attention. This shift doesn't just spark curiosity, it creates desire. They'll realize they've taken you for granted and start putting in the effort to keep you close. No longer obvious, become mysterious. When you change the way you show up, you're sending a strong message. You're not easy to figure out. You're no longer predictable. You're someone they need to work to keep. Breaking the pattern isn't manipulation, it's a wake-up call. It forces people to see you differently, appreciate you more, and put in effort to earn your presence. Conclusion. Ready to change? If you're ready to shift the dynamics in your relationships, now is the time to act. Step out of the pattern. Change how you show up. Make them pay attention. And remember, you're not a backup plan. You're not an afterthought. You're someone to be cherished and pursued. Start today. Let them see you've changed and they won't be able to ignore it. Break the pattern, subtle yet powerful. This shift doesn't have to be dramatic. Even small changes can have huge impacts. When you break the patterns others expect, they feel unsettled. They notice something's different. They don't know how to react. And that uncertainty sparks curiosity. They'll start asking, what's changed? Why are they acting differently? They've lost control of the narrative they created about you, and in that moment, they begin to invest energy into figuring you out. Chase what they used to take for granted. Breaking the pattern, take back control. Breaking patterns doesn't just make others notice you, it helps you take back control. You stop following the scripts they've written for you. You start rewriting your own story. Unpredictability by attraction. Mystery attracts people. Uncertainty keeps them engaged. Desire grows when things aren't easy to obtain. When you stop being predictable, you become someone worth chasing. Key takeaway: subtle changes, big results. You don't have to make huge gestures. Small intentional shifts are enough to make an impact. Step back slightly. Say no instead of always agreeing. Be less available. These subtle moves make people notice the difference. Mystery makes them question everything. When you change how you act, they'll be forced to reevaluate what they know about you. Get curious and try to figure you out. That's the power of unpredictability. Affirm your value. Remind yourself, I know my worth. You don't have to. Explain your actions. Justify your changes. Let them wonder. Let them adjust. Those who care will adapt. Others will fade away. The people who truly value you will step up and adjust. The people who only valued your availability will disappear. Either way, you win. You're worth chasing. Stop proving your worth. Stop chasing validation. Start being the one who's pursued. Your shift in behavior will make them pause and think. Pay closer attention. Realize they've taken you for granted. And trust me, they'll notice. They always do. 6. Mirror their actions. Reveal the truth without saying a word. People often don't recognize the impact of their behavior until they experience it themselves. They take your kindness for granted. They overlook your efforts. They assume you'll always be there, ready to forgive and forget. But when they suddenly face the consequences of their actions, it forces a wake-up call. That's the power of mirroring. Mirroring forces them to reflect. When you mirror their behavior, you make them face how they've treated you. They're distant, you become distant. They're inconsistent, you respond with inconsistency. They don't respect your time, you stop prioritizing theirs. This isn't about pettiness or revenge. It's about showing them, without words, what it feels like to be on the receiving end of their actions. You're not here to beg for respect, chase their attention. You're here to teach them a lesson without speaking a word. The power of mirroring, a lesson they can't ignore. Mirroring isn't retaliation, it's a reality check. When you reflect someone's behavior back at them, it shatters their comfort zone. They realize you're no longer the person who forgives and forgets without question. This shift unsettles them. Suddenly they start wondering, what changed? Why aren't they acting the same? Did I do something wrong? And, most importantly, they feel the difference immediately. Mirroring isn't manipulation, it's setting boundaries. Mirroring their actions doesn't mean playing mind games or trying to hurt them. It's about drawing clear boundaries. You won't tolerate disrespect. You won't let your efforts go unnoticed. Your calm silence speaks louder than words ever could. When you stop overcompensating, they feel the gap. People are used to you being the first to reach out. You always forgiving, you keeping the peace no matter what. But when you stop overextending yourself and mirror their actions, they feel the emptiness of your absence. They feel confused. They feel uncomfortable. They start questioning themselves. And at that moment, they start rethinking how they've treated you. Mirroring is a silent power move. It forces people to reflect on their own behavior. It makes them notice the gap they created. Most importantly, it helps you regain control. You don't need to argue or explain yourself. Let your actions do the talking. Remember, those who value you will adjust. Those who don't will walk away. Either way, you win. And trust me, they'll notice. Mirroring their actions. Reclaim your worth. When you shift your behavior, they start to wonder why. This subtle but powerful change forces them to reflect on their actions. If they've been distant, they'll feel your distance. If they've been inconsistent, they'll notice your lack of effort. Your kindness and attention were gifts, not obligations, but when those gifts go unappreciated, it's time to withdraw them. Mirroring isn't cruelty, it's balance. It's a silent lesson that relationships require reciprocity. Their discomfort sparks growth. When they feel the discomfort of your absence or indifference, they'll face two choices. 1. Adjust their behavior to match your worth. 2. Walk away. Either way, you win. The ones who stay will respect your boundaries. The ones who leave will make space for those who deserve you. Mirroring isn't a game, it's self-respect. This isn't about playing tricks. It's about reaffirming your value without begging for validation. You don't need to. Explain yourself. Apologize for demanding respect. Let your actions send the message. The right people will adjust. The wrong ones will fade away. True connections will recognize their mistakes and correct them. Superficial connections will walk away, and that's a blessing. No matter what happens, you win. You're not chasing, you're attracting. Stop proving your worth. Stop begging for appreciation. Start letting them work for you. Your shift in energy will make them pause and reflect. Reevaluate their actions. Work harder to keep you. And trust me, they'll feel it. 7. Inspire effort. Make them earn their place in your life. The truth is, people tend to value what they have to work for. If you've been doing all the heavy lifting in your relationships, planning, problem solving, and pouring in all your energy, you might unknowingly make yourself too available and end up being taken for granted. When you do everything, others stop feeling the need to invest in you. It's time to change that. If you want to be appreciated, you have to stop giving everything away up front. Make them earn their place in your life. When someone invests in you, they begin to value you more. Step back to shift the dynamic. Stepping back can shift the dynamic. Suddenly, they'll have to put in effort to be closer to you. They'll have to work for your time and attention, and the more they invest, the more they'll cherish what they've built. That's just human nature. People naturally value what they have to work hard to keep. This doesn't mean you should play games or demand grand gestures. It's about balance. Stop carrying the entire weight of the relationship. Stop being the one who always texts first, always makes plans, and always keeps the connection alive. If they truly care, they'll step up. And if they don't, then maybe they were never planning to stick around in the first place. Either way, you'll know who truly deserves to be in your life. Encouraging effort means setting boundaries. Encouraging effort is also about setting boundaries. Know when to say no and hold back just enough to inspire them to step forward. Remember this, you shouldn't have to work endlessly to keep someone around. The people who truly value you will make the effort to keep you. Inspire effort, get them to invest in you. Don't give away all your emotional energy right from the start. Keep a little for yourself, leaving them curious and motivated to earn your attention. This creates a sense of value and scarcity, making every interaction with you feel more meaningful. If they've grown used to you always supporting, sacrificing, and taking on everything, step back. Let them feel that gap and force them to step up and fill it. Once they start putting in the effort, they'll finally understand the value of what you've been giving away so freely. This isn't manipulation, it's balance. It creates space for a mutually supportive connection. When someone invests their time and emotions in you, they naturally value you more because they've put a part of themselves into the relationship. That's when you stop being just an option and start being someone they truly treasure. The shift may feel uncomfortable, but it's necessary. At first, this shift might feel uncomfortable, especially if you're used to giving without hesitation. But remember, this isn't selfish, it's necessary. You deserve relationships where the effort flows both ways, where your time and energy are met with respect and appreciation. Make them earn their place. Make them invest in you to ensure that the people in your life are there because they truly want to be, not because you've made it too easy or convenient for them to stay. Affirm this truth: I know my worth. You don't have to chase or beg for anyone's attention. Step back, stand your ground, and let them meet you at your level. If they care, they'll make the effort. 8. Make them feel your absence. People rarely appreciate what they have until it's gone. When you're always available, always initiating, always filling in the gaps, they get used to it. Your presence becomes background noise, reliable but gradually overlooked. The only way to remind them of your value is to step back. Create space for them to feel your absence. That's the moment reality hits. They realize you're not a given, and your attention is not guaranteed. Stepping away isn't about punishing them or playing games. It's about reclaiming your energy and showing them what life feels like without your constant presence. When you step back, they notice. The good morning texts you used to send, the emotional support you provided, the way you were always there without them even having to ask. Suddenly, the little gestures they once took for granted seem huge. Absence creates space for reflection. When you stop filling every silence, they're left alone with their thoughts, and that emptiness is uncomfortable. It forces them to face what they've lost. Your absence doesn't just leave a void, it sends a message. It reminds them that your presence is a gift, not an obligation. Step back and let them feel the emptiness. The people who truly value you will notice and they'll step up. The ones who don't, they'll drift away. Either way, you win. Let them wonder, make them miss you. When you step away, they start asking themselves, why haven't you reached out? What's changed? This discomfort pulls them toward you because now they miss you. People always chase what they feel is slipping away. This isn't about ignoring them or cutting them off. It's about knowing when to step back, be less available, and stop filling every gap. You don't need to announce your absence. You don't need to explain it. Simply pull back your energy and let them feel the difference between having you around and not. Trust the process. At first, this shift might feel uncomfortable, like you're losing control or pushing them away. But trust the process. If they care, they'll notice your absence and come looking for you. If they don't, you've cleared space for better people to enter your life. Either way, you win. Affirm your value. I know my worth. Your absence isn't a game. It's a reminder that your time, energy, and presence are gifts, not obligations. The people who truly value you will feel the difference when you're gone. And trust me, they'll notice. They always do. 9. You are the hero of your own story. You are not a supporting character in someone else's life. You are the hero of your own story, and it's time you started living like it. Too often, we put others at the center of our world, hoping they'll see our worth or validate us. But the moment you hand someone else that power, you lose control over your own life. Taking back your power begins when you realize this. You are responsible for your happiness, your worth, and your future. It's not about their approval. It's about your own. You don't need to wait for someone to recognize your value or give you a place in their life. You already have value. You are enough. And the only person you need to convince of that is yourself. Own your power. Live for yourself. The more you live for yourself, the more magnetic you become. People are naturally drawn to those who know who they are and where they're going. That's the energy of someone who isn't looking for external validation, but is focused on living their best life. This doesn't mean you won't have relationships. It means your relationships will be built on mutual respect, not neediness. You're not here to beg for someone's time, attention, or love. You're here to build your own life and invite others to join you if they can keep up. Affirm your worth. I know my worth. You are the hero, not the sidekick. You set the pace and you decide who gets to stay in your story. Those who value you will rise to meet you. Those who don't will be left behind, and that's perfectly okay. This is your story. You get to write it. So be bold, be unapologetic, and never forget, you're the main character and the plot is yours to create. Sometimes, letting go is how you find yourself. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It's an act of protecting your inner peace, a way to reclaim your power and remind others to appreciate your presence. Stoicism teaches us that self-worth doesn't come from external validation. It comes from within, the unshakable belief that you deserve better. If someone only notices your presence when you're gone, perhaps they never truly valued you. And sometimes absence is the most powerful test of all. Be rare, like a precious gem. Live like a rare gem, unique and worthy of admiration. Those who deserve you will make the effort to keep you close. Those who don't, they'll naturally drift away, and that's okay. Letting go isn't losing, it's choosing yourself. It's creating space for people who truly value you to step in. So stand firm in your worth, protect your peace, and never be afraid to walk away from anything that doesn't honor the value you bring. Right now, reclaim your power. No more waiting, no more excuses. It's time to take action. Hit the like button below to mark the beginning of a new chapter, a journey to rediscover your true strength and worth. Don't let anyone underestimate you. If someone fails to see your value, step back and let them feel the emptiness of your absence. Live life on your terms, calm, strong, and unwavering. Protect your peace like the precious treasure it is. Stop chasing after others. Instead, let them be the ones who work to earn your presence. This is your story, and you are the main character. Remind yourself daily, I deserve the best life has to offer. From this moment on, anyone who wants to be a part of your life must prove they're worthy. If this message speaks to you, hit subscribe and share it with others. Together, we can create a life filled with meaning and value. Your journey starts now.